Good afternoon. I am Jim Redondi, and this is Wizards World. Today, we welcome one of my favorites, Andy Magistrali with Rocky Mountaineer. Andy will take us on a luxurious train ride through the Rocky Mountains in both the United States and Canada. He will show us how Rocky Mountaineer can bring you up close and personal to all the beautiful scenery in that magnificent mountain range. As a reminder, we would appreciate it if you would mute yourself so there is no background noise during the presentation. And if you have any questions, please use the chat box and we will get to your questions at the end. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation. Take it away, Andy.
Jim, thank you very much. And thank you to Travel Wizards for organizing this. I'm very excited to tell you all about Rocky Mountaineer, where we go, when we started, and all the wonderful things that we do around the United States, which we're starting, by the way, August 15th. And of course, we've been in Canada for a long, long time, and I'll cover that in just a minute. But again, I wanted to thank Travel Wizards for organizing this. You can see their phone numbers below. They're located in Burlingame, beautiful California for now. And they're going to be there to help you at all times. Well, maybe not at midnight, on Saturday night, but other than that, they'll be there all the time. So let me give you a little background on Rocky Mountaineer. First of all, we started in 1990 in British Columbia, in Vancouver, BC. And so we've been around since a long time, 1990. As a matter of fact, we welcomed our 2 millionth guest on during the summer of 2017. So we've carried over 2 million people, of course, not in the past year and a half because of the COVID situation, but of course, we're moving away from that now. And there is some really good news I want to share with you. And the first thing is we actually are doing our rail journeys in Canada as of July 5th. And so we've already started our rail journeys from British Columbia to Alberta, and I'll explain all that to you in a little while and show you exactly the map and where we go to. But that is really important. And then the other important thing that's happened is Canada is easing all the restrictions. You can go into Canada, you can take one of our beautiful rail journeys after August 9th, but you can't come back into the United States until August 21st. So you might want to wait until the end of August or sometime in September, October, and take a beautiful rail journey into the extraordinary. And I love this picture right here because this shows you what it's like to travel in Canada. And you can imagine just sitting in a very comfortable business class type seat that you would expect on an international flight, and just sitting back, looking at the scenery, and then hearing about the history, the folklore, the geography from our hosts that are in each one of our cars, and also being served at your seat, unless you're in gold, which is our first class section, and you have a private dining room. So anyway, more on all that in just a few minutes. But so again, we've been around for a long time. We have 3 beautiful journeys in the Canadian Rockies, and I'll show you the map again in just a little while. And we're going to start our Rockies to the Red Rocks. And this is Denver to Glenwood Springs to Moab in Utah, or Moab to Glenwood Springs, where we're overnight, back to Denver. And the other interesting thing about this is that we only travel during daylight hours. So that means when you get to your middle of the rail destination on Rockies to the Red Rocks, that would be Glenwood Springs, you have a very comfortable hotel for your overnight. And the other nice thing too is that your bags are already going to be in your hotel room waiting for you. At least we hope so. No, I mean, they always are. It's never been a problem. So we're going to do 40 departures from mid-August, August 15th through the end of October, and that is for this year. And next year, the normal pattern is April through October, and that's for Canada and also Rockies to the Red Rocks. So my name is Andy, and I've been with the company since June, but I've been on Rocky Mountaineer several times in the past, and I have to say it's just a great experience. Our hosts on board do anything and everything they can to make your journey amazing. But the other interesting thing about this is that it's only one day overnight in a hotel, and then the second day. And most people go for 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 days. Now, how do we do that? We have amazing tour packages that I will tell you all about, and that is very easily to Travel Wizards can sell that to you and tell you all about that. So this is the start of Rockies to the Red Rocks, again, starting in August, on August 15th. Now, the area that you're seeing right here, this is the La Salle Mountains, and it was named Sal, S-A-L, because of the salt deposits. In Spanish, sal means salt. And it was a famous Spanish explorer who did this back in the 1500s. So these are the type of monoliths and mountains that you're going to see on this route, which is quite spectacular. Another great scene, and this is just right outside of Moab. Absolutely beautiful.
An extraordinary place. Deserves an extraordinary way to see it. Our newest route, Rockies to the Red Rocks, brings 30 years of Rocky Mountaineers' world-class service to the stunning desert vistas of the American Southwest. Traveling from the vibrant Denver, Colorado, past some of nature's wonders, vast canyons, chromatic deserts, and panoramic views, to the mesmerizing red rock landscapes that twist through the bright blue sky. It's rail travel at its best. After all, you're going to see an extraordinary place. You want an extraordinary way to see it.
All right, so this is where we're going to go. And this is Denver to Glenwood Springs overnight, and then on to Moab in Utah. Now, we have some really good tour packages that one starts from Salt Lake City, does several national parks down to Moab, and then the train from Moab to Glenwood Springs and then to Denver. We also have the same from Las Vegas. And the one from Las Vegas, I'll tell you about in a minute. It, to me, is just my absolute favorite. Or maybe I should tell you about it right now. It is so interesting, and it's one of my absolute favorite. It goes, at least from Las Vegas, you stay overnight in one of the hotels in Las Vegas, and right now we're using the Mirage. And then from there, you're taken by motor coach, and you go to Zion National Park. You go to Lake Powell and have a boat ride on Lake Powell. You go to Arches National Park. You stay in Moab. You also stay in Lake Powell too. And then you go to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon and Monument Valley, and then hop on the beautiful, luxurious Rocky Mountaineer on your way to Glenwood Springs in Denver. And so, I mean, that's my absolute favorite. And that's about 8 or 9 days. And it's just an amazing program. Now, you can either go eastbound or you can go westbound. Either way, you can catch these same tour programs. Now, eastbound, this is the map from Moab all the way to Glenwood Springs. And these are some of the sites you're going to see along the way. And I'll show you some pictures here in just a second. You're going to go by the Book Cliffs. Arches National Park is actually 1 mile away from Moab. Mount Peel and the La Salle Mountains, again, named after the Spanish explorer who found salt by these monoliths. Mount Garfield, Rubric Canyon, Dubuque Canyon, and then Parachute Creek into Glenwood Springs. Now, that's Mount Garfield. And as you saw back there, it's closer to Glenwood Springs. And Mount Garfield is 6,600 feet high, and it is a sandstone type of a mountain. And you go right past this. The Book Cliffs, and there's the La Salle Mountains again. The Book Cliffs were named Book Cliffs because the early explorers saw this, and you see those stripes through the mountains, and they thought it looked just like a books in a library. So they named it the Book Cliffs. And on board the train, our hosts are going to tell you all about the area that you're going through. They'll tell you about the history, the geology, the geography, give you some folklore as well from the Native Americans. So it should be really fun and interesting. The next day, you're going to go from Glenwood Springs through Glenwood Canyon, Gore Canyon, Briars Canyon, Moffett Tunnel. And Moffett Tunnel is actually about 8 miles long. It was completed in 1927, and then past Gross Reservoir Dam, named after Mr. Gross, who was the designer of the dam, and then Coal Creek Canyon, and then the amazing Big Ten curve, which is as you climb down from the Continental Divide into Denver. And there's Red Canyon. And this is a typical site that you're going to see along the way as you leave from Moab into Glenwood Springs into the Denver area. And there's Briars Canyon. Now, Briars Canyon is about 8 miles long. And as you can see here, those are actually the headwaters of the Colorado River. And there's the Gross Reservoir Dam, 440 acres of reservoir waters. And the dam is itself about 340 feet high and completed in 1954. And there's the Moffat Tunnel, absolutely beautiful. And this is a great scene because of the color in the mountains. This is typical for late September and October, which I think is a great time of year to go. There's Byers Canyon again. And the other part of this, we travel on these tracks where buses usually can't go. There's no roads, there's no trails. It's pretty much all rail. And so you have exclusive views. Plus, there's a lot of animals that you could probably see too. Everything from eagles to coyotes. I was there a few weeks ago, actually over the 4th of July, now that I think about it. And we saw bighorn sheep. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful animals. There's Parachute Creek, and this is 14 miles long, absolutely stunning that you go through. And then there's Ruby Canyon. Now, this is a stock photo. That train car you're seeing there has absolutely nothing to do with Rocky Mountaineer's luxurious train cars. But this is 25 miles in length around or on the side of the beautiful, beautiful Colorado River. LaSalle Mountains, and you can see those white areas there, and that kind of gives you an idea of the salt deposits that the Spanish explorers saw and named it the LaSalle Mountains. So you can go eastbound or westbound. This just gives you an idea of what it's like from westbound to Glenwood Springs. It's really no different. It's the same sites along the way. And then again, from Glenwood Springs to Moab. Here's the Big Ten curve. This is 270 degrees as it climbs or goes down from the Continental Divide into Denver or out of Denver. So quite spectacular. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be asking, what's it like for being on board the train? Is it safe? And of course, our cars are immaculately kept for cleanliness. And we have this new bipolar ionization system that eliminates 99.9% of all airborne particles, such as bacteria and virus. So it's very, very safe. Also, we're traveling at a limited capacity of 60%. And we follow the CDC guidelines. So on board the train, you will have to wear masks except when eating and drinking. And speaking of eating and drinking, although you'll see better pictures in just a few minutes, speaking of eating and drinking, your alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages are included, and you're in these beautiful, comfortable seats that are, somewhat similar to traveling business class on an international flight. And of course, you're going to be served at your seat, and these are all delicious gourmet meals, and very local, whether it's in Canada or on the Rockies to the Red Rocks. It's very, very, very local cuisine that we want you to experience. Sort of immerse you into the area that you're going through. There's going to be some pre-board tests, and this is mainly in Canada, not in the U.S. And also in the U.S. too, you don't have to be vaxxed, but of course we always recommend that naturally, and you just have to wear a mask on board. Gold leaf. Now, this is gold leaf in Canada. We do not have gold leaf in the United States on Rockies to the Red Rocks because of one simple thing, and that is if you look at that beautiful, beautiful rail car, it's too tall for the tunnels to go through. And these are all I shouldn't say handmade, but they're all kind of handmade rail cars, specifically made for Rocky Mountaineer. So anyway, these are in Canada. This is the first class section of our train. And you can see in the lower left how big the picture windows are and what a great view you're going to have out the windows taking pictures. And then for breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner, you will go downstairs. We even have an elevator in these cars. You will go downstairs and have a luxurious, delicious meal right there. And again, that's all included, along with alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. And that's served throughout, including very delicious snacks. And at the back end of the car, you will see the open air place where you can get some even better pictures. And it's a very social atmosphere on board too. So there are the cars. Again, that's the first class section. And you can see one of our wonderful hosts serving everybody on board. so you can see exactly what it's like being in the first class section. And who doesn't want to be treated like gold? There's no doubt about that. So very social, great host on board, and of course, any beverage that you want. The food itself is quite excellent, made by our chefs right on board the train, and we can do any dietary needs such as gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian. We just have to know ahead of time, and we can easily accommodate those requests. Beautiful exclusive dining room again for the gold leaf folks, and the food on board is quite amazing. And there's your open air viewing platform. Great for, again, taking pictures or just getting some fresh air. Silverleaf is what we have on the Rockies to Red Rocks and also in Canada as well. And again, still beautiful, large, spacious windows. So you can get great views out of everything. And the other nice thing about these windows is that they are actually kind of polarized so that you don't feel the sun beating down on you too. Now, the seats on board are very spacious. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine was on and he was about 6'11", and he said he was surprised at how comfortable he was and how much legroom he had. And so because of that, we have a lot of legroom in our cars. So again, very easy. And then in Silverleaf, the meals are served right at your seat, just kind of like they are in business class on a plane, going overseas or even domestically some places, when they do serve on airplanes domestically. So beautiful scenes. I mean, there's waterfalls. You're going to pass by canyons. You're going to see engineering marvels. You're going to see the Red Rocks, which is quite amazing. But engineering marvels is absolutely beautiful, like the Big Ten curves just outside of Denver, climbing over the Continental Divide. And there's some of the beautiful mountains. Now, this is all in Canada because we just put the train in Denver about a month ago, and we're starting to take pictures right now. Again, this is your Silverleaf area, and again, served right at your seat. You can see these people. I mean, these aren't actors. They're just regular folks. And they're just taking some pictures, enjoying themselves, plenty of legroom in the seats, and they're having a great time socializing, and of course, looking out the spacious, very large picture windows. And look at those desserts. Doesn't that look good? I haven't had dinner, of course, but I'm ready for dessert. Now, the end of a perfect day of rail travel, again, daylight service only. And what happens? Boom, you're going to be in a beautiful, comfortable, very nice hotel in, for example, Glenwood Springs, or in Canada. I'll tell you the places as soon as we start covering Canada in just a few minutes. And so that your bags will be in your room. As you leave your train car, as you leave your luxury train car, you'll be giving the keys to your room so you can go right to your room. There's no more check-in needed. So it's very well done, and very just such ease and so simple to do. Now, let's talk about Canada. We have 3 rail routes in Canada. They all leave from Vancouver going eastbound, or from Jasper or Banff going westbound. And again, 3 different routes. Now, the first route we had is called First Passage to the West, and that is from Vancouver to Kamloops to Lake Louise and Banff. And the overnight is in Kamloops, which is in the middle of BC, British Columbia, as you can see there. The next route is the journey through the clouds, and that's Vancouver to Kamloops to Jasper, and again, overnight in Kamloops. And then we have Rainforest to Gold Rush, and that goes from Vancouver to Whistler, which is beautiful, to Quesnel, which was the site of the 1860 gold rush, which brought a lot of people up to the middle part of British Columbia, and then on to Jasper. And this is where you're going to see Mount Robson too. I think I have a picture of Mount Robson here in just a few minutes. Now, again, these rail journeys are just one day, overnight, and then to your next stop. So we've developed a lot of tour packages that encompass the entire area. And that's the same for Rockies to the Red Rocks, as I briefly mentioned. So again, you're going to experience the extraordinary. You're going to see these beautiful mountains, beautiful canyons, waterfalls, and this is in Canada. And then in Rockies to the Red Rocks, you're going to see the Rocky Mountains. You're going to see the beautiful Red Rocks. Now, this is Rainforest to Gold Rush. This is Vancouver to Whistler to Quesnel, then over to Jasper. And this is along Howe Sound, as you can see right there. So there's House Sound, there's Fraser River Swing Bridge, really doesn't swing, by the way. And then there's Mount Robson, which is 13,000 feet. And hopefully on a clear day, you can easily see this. But you see the color there in the lower right-hand corner. A great time to go is in the fall. I love the spring or the fall. Those are my two favorite times to travel. And of course, you got to travel whenever you can. The first and original that when we started in 1990 was Vancouver to Kamloops onto Lake Louise and Banff. Two spectacular places, Lake Louise and Banff. I've been there many, many times. I've hiked around. It's just absolutely gorgeous and stunning. And one of my absolute favorite places. And we have many packages that would include both overnights in Vancouver, Kamloops, Lake Louise, and Banff. And I'll show you those in just a minute or two. So these are just some of the sites you're going to see: Vermilion Lakes, Stony Brook, Stony Creek Bridge, and then the Castle Mountains. And you go right by these, and they're great for picture taking. And our host on boards, our host, which I call guides, but they're hosts, will tell you all about the history, the folklore, the geology, and they're really funny too. They'll have a great sense of humor, and they'll really be able to bring the whole area that you're going through to life for you. There's beautiful Banff. Banff actually is 4,500 feet high. It's the highest, largest city in all of Canada. And so again, that's 4,500 feet high. And there's Mount Rundell there in the background. That's 9,600 feet high. And the town itself is nestled in between Mount Rundell and Mount Cascades, which this picture is kind of being taken from. And so we have overnights on our tour packages in Banff, or you can just do the 2 days and 1 night in Kamloops, and you're finished. So it's really whatever you want, but we have some great packages to think about. And one of those is our circle journeys. And so you can leave from Vancouver, and I'm going to the east. You can also do the same to the west too, but I'll just start in Vancouver. Let's say you want to go to Whistler, and then you go up to Quesnel. Again, you're overnight in Whistler, overnight in Quesnel, then on to Jasper, and then your hotel in Jasper, of course, is included. You go down the Columbia Icefields Highway into Lake Louise and Banff, and then you can go from Lake Louise back to Kamloops and then to Vancouver. So that's what we call a circle journey, because obviously it's a big circle. And this is done either by motor coach, so that's very easy to do, or self-drive. And I've done a lot of self-driving in beautiful British Columbia. And so it's very easy to do. They have great roads up there. Just watch out for the moose, because the moose don't like cars and cars don't like mooses, or moose, whatever that plural is. But one of my favorite things is this right here in the middle, and that is the Columbia Icefields. And you take this vehicle, this beautiful big vehicle, up to the top of the glacier. And this is in the middle of the road between Jasper and down to Lake Louise and Banff. And it takes you right to the top. And then from there, you can walk on the glacier. And it's not just that, but the host on board will tell you all about the history, tell you about the glacier, if it's receding or if it's increasing. And it's just really fun. And you can even drink the water on the glacier. And it's one of the most pure waters that you'll ever be able to drink. So we have Journey Through the Clouds as well. And again, this just gives you an idea of the number of nights that you will spend if you want to do a one-way trip. So this is overnight in Vancouver, and we use many hotels in downtown Vancouver, including the Sheraton Wall, overnight in Kamloops, 2 nights in Jasper, and then all the tours and sightseeing are included there as well, and even some of the meals. You'll do the Columbia Icefield, you'll go down to Lake Louise, and we do a lot of hotels there at and staying at the Chateau Lake Louise. In Banff, we use many different hotels. And then in Calgary, we use one of the Fairmont hotels. So just gives you an idea of how a tour package would work. And again, the nice thing is Travel Wizards can arrange all this for you. It's very easy to do. And we still have space this year in 21, and of course, plenty of space in 22. Here's another one, Rainforest to the Gold Rush. This tour is called the Explorer. And this goes from Vancouver, as you can see, to Whistler, Quesnel, 2 nights in Jasper, the Columbia Icefields, and 1 night each in Lake Louise, Banff, and then Calgary. And then you can fly home from there. And as of the middle of the 21st or so of August, there will be flights from the Calgary area back to the US. And I just heard Delta Airlines is increasing their service to the Canada area and all those towns like Vancouver and Calgary and Edmonton. And that starts the first part of September. So we're really happy to announce that as well. Now, the Grand Circle, and this one's about 12 nights. And so, as I said, you can just do one rail day journey to Kamloops, and then one rail day journey to Banff, and then boom, you're done. Or you can do a huge, delicious, wonderful trip that includes Vancouver, Whistler, Quesnel, Jasper for 2 nights, the Columbia Icefields, Lake Louise, Banff for 3 nights. And again, all the tours in this area are all included too. So the important thing to remember is it's not just a hotel, it's all the tours around that area. So it keeps you really busy and very fulfilled with your vacation. Oops. The Golden Circle, a little bit less time. And again, fewer nights in Banff and Lake Louise. But again, it's just a nice circle to see. A lot of British Columbia and Alberta. So I'm sure you'll thoroughly enjoy that. And Travel Wizards can help you there. So again, hotels in Kamloops are all included, which is standard. Very nice, comfortable hotels. Again, it's all daylight service. And once you get into Kamloops, you'll be transferred to your hotel. So that makes it very easy to do. And let me just kind of backtrack for a second, because in Glenwood Springs, and of course this is Glenwood Springs, it's a picture of Kamloops, but in Glenwood Springs, the hotels are only a block away from the train station. So again, your bags are going to be in your hotel room, but you can walk. And if you can't walk, that's fine too, because we always can have a service to help you get to your hotel. So very easy to do. Now, beautiful Lake Louise, you can see the glacier-fed waters there, which are absolutely spectacular. That beautiful aqua color, absolutely stunning. And if you want, you can take a canoe out. Again, we stay at the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, which is a beautiful, beautiful hotel. And we even include some of the meals there too, if you're on a tour package. And there's another gorgeous shot of the lake. And the other thing too, Lake Moraine is very close by too, and you can easily go there as well. Moraine is one of the most photographed areas in all of Alberta, but Lake Louise is quite stunning, just like Banff is. Now, getting back to Arches National Park, and which is just a mile outside of Moab. And we have tour packages that would include Arches, Zion, Bryce, North Rim of the Grand Canyon, Monument Valley, which is quite spectacular, and Canyonlands National Park, which is amazing, as you can see right here. So we offer so much in addition to our rail luxury journeys. So just wanted to, this is one of my favorite shots. And on one of our tour packages, we take you right to Dead Horse Point. Now, this is about 32 miles southwest of Moab. And this is the Colorado River going around this point. It's kind of a 360-degree turn. And you can see, part of the canyon, part of the Grand Canyon there. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful area. So again, this is easily seen on one of our tour packages that Travel Wizard can arrange for you. So just to summarize, go back to the pretty picture. To summarize, a great legroom on our trains, our beautiful luxury cars. There's fresh air in the vestibules and recirculating air with our amazing brand new bipolar ionizers, which recirculates the air and gets rid of 99.9% of all viruses. So that's really, really nice. And great attentive service. There's great meals on board, which are all included, beverages, which are included, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. There's going to be historical commentary of the area that you're going through, and maybe even hysterical commentary of the area that you're going through. We want to make you laugh and have a good time too. We have these great circle journeys. We have great packages that Travel Wizard really experienced agents are more than happy to help you out. And the other important thing about our rail journeys, I call it a rail cruise because it's basically a cruise on rails. And this is where sometimes cars, trails, motor coaches can't go or don't go. So it makes it kind of private. It makes it beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You're going to see so many engineering marvels like the Big Ten curves, and many also in Canada, river canyons, red rocks. And also, people always want to know, how fast do you go? Well, we go at the regular speed limits, but we also go slowly so you can take pictures. In fact, sometimes it's even called, we go at Kodak speed. So if you remember what the Kodak cameras used to be all like. So again, want to thank Travel Wizards for arranging all of this. That's how to contact them. These are your expert advisors, Andrea, Alan, Angela, Dominique, Elsie, Kim, Margot, and Melissa. They're more than happy to help you out. And there is the phone number, 650-696-6900. And one last thing, if you book by the end of August on anything that we have, whether it's Rockies to the Red Rocks or even in Canada, you can book and get a $300 savings per couple. And all you have to do is just book this by the end of August. And that's a special that Travel Wizard is going to offer you because you attended our journey today. Or if you even pass it on to your friends too, that's fine too. So think about that. And okay, it's not going to the last slide. The last slide's really good too, so you need to see this. Okay, let me hit that and see if that helps. Okay, let me go to the last slide. Sorry for that. IT sometimes gets stuck. Oh, okay. Well, it's not working. So I'll just say thank you to Travel Wizards for organizing this. We really appreciate it. Thank you for attending, and give them a call. They'll be more than happy to help you out. Jim, take it over. It's all yours.
Oh, Andy, that was fabulous. Thank you very much. I'm sitting here watching the Red Rocks and then the Canadian ones. And even though you're in basically the same mountain range, what a difference.
Oh, very much so. Absolutely.
Difference in the scenery.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that last picture you had from, what was it, Dead Point?
Yes, isn't that amazing? Dead Horse Point, which is 30 miles southwest of Moab. Spectacular views. I mean, the Colorado River, which you're going to be traveling by most of the time anyway. And then you see our tour, one of our tour packages takes you there. And that is a stunning place. And there's even going to be time to walk around that area too. So it's just beautiful.
Okay, because the best time, from at least from my experiences, like at the Grand Canyon, the best times are either at sunrise or sunset because the sun is soft and the colors really, really come out, and it's just gorgeous. So thank you for that. And of course, then the greenery when you get into the Canadian Rockies, it's just just a completely different feel. So it feels like, and it is two different types of vacations.
Yeah, so, and that's really makes it fun too, and that gives people a lot of flexibility on different places to go. So
thank you for showing both of us both of those trips. We appreciate that. Remember, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We'll have Andy here for just a few more minutes. You had mentioned that the trains travel slow.
Yes.
They only make the stops at the overnights, right? So it's not like when you're going through the Red Rock thing that it's going to stop in some of these places and let you get off for a half hour, 45 minutes. That never happens, correct? It just continuously straight?
That is correct. No, the train has to go on the tracks because we're being followed by freights. And so we do have to move, but we can go through the area at Kodak speed, which is about 30 miles an hour. So people can get a really good view of the monoliths, of the Red Rocks, take pictures, and also hear all the info from our host as well. So definitely.
And then, of course, now I know on the Gold, it has those outside viewing areas, I'll call it. Is that on the Silver trains as well? Because I know it's only Silver in the Red Rocks to Moab. So
that is correct. It's only on the in Canada, and so that is very true. So it's just in Canada where you have the cars that have the viewing platform.
Well, I like but not just the viewing platform, but I like how downstairs had the meal area where it just feels like you're going into the restaurant, and of course back up top to your luxurious seats and areas where you and your traveling companions are, and of course with the magnificent windows to look straight up or straight out, just amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It's all very comfortable and well-designed cars. And, if you want to go in Gold Leaf, which of course is the first class section, absolutely stunning, beautiful, and extremely comfortable. And the other really nice part is you go down below and have your absolutely delicious meals And then you're still served drinks up in the upper level too. And oh, one other thing too, on the Silverleaf in Rockies to the Red Rocks, we have a first-class section called Silverleaf Plus, and that is a regular Silverleaf car, but it's also attached to a beautiful, beautiful brand new lounge car too. So, and in the lounge car, they'll have all sorts of drinks, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, plus they'll also have a lot of gourmet snacks, local gourmet snacks, which would be really, really fun.
On the gold and silver, the difference is it also a difference in hotel or hotel room?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's very true.
Off the train.
Yeah. So when you're off the train, if you're doing one of the packages and you have gold leaf, you're staying in basically 4.5 to 5-star hotels, like the Fairmont hotels in Canada. And in fact, in Denver, if you're on Silverleaf, you're staying either at the what's the name of the hotel in Denver that we're using? Hold on, don't go away. It is the Crawford, which is right at Union Station in Denver, which is a beautiful hotel. And at Union Station, there's actually about a dozen restaurants there too. So again, if you're on Gold Leaf, you're going to stay at a little bit fancier hotels, except when you get to the midpoint cities like Glenwood Springs or Kamloops. You know, they don't have the 5-star hotels, so you're going to be in the best hotels. But again, you're still in very comfortable hotels.
Okay. Cool. Okay. All righty. So that was fabulous. The trains travel slowly. We only have one overnight, and then the pre and post is really where I think you can expand your trip. I mean, you're talking about the Columbia Icefield Roadway. I've been on that road. That road is just spectacular.
Isn't that amazing?
It's just one of the most beautiful drives you'll ever encounter. And that Columbia Icefield, bring your coats because it gets cold up there.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's absolutely beautiful. And you know, the packages really just complete your trip too, and give you a whole new perspective on the area that you're going through. And it's just a great way to see the American Southwest or British Columbia and Alberta too, and just get an overall really good view of the area.
Well, the only thing in the chat box that I have right now is thank you, Andy, and congratulations. So we do appreciate you taking time out tonight for giving all our people here an opportunity to see exactly what Rocky Mountaineer can do for them. So thank you very much. And, you know, we look forward to seeing you when you're down in our area. For those, I mean, you people don't know, but Andy is not a Bay Area person. He is up in the Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, Washington areas where he is based. And he has been a rep for us, maybe not with Rocky Mountaineer for that long, but in other endeavors with cruising and other tour companies as well over the years. And we do appreciate everything he has done for us. Just so everybody knows that, and I see there's a lot of new people on tonight, so I do appreciate you showing up and hope to have you back in the future. But in the near future, this is going to be our last one for a few weeks to a month because I'm taking some time off. So there won't be a Wizard's World for the next few weeks. And we will send an email out when we have the new schedule for either late August or September at that time. So until we have another one of these, we thank you for appearing tonight, and we look to see you in the future. Thank you very much. And Andy, thank you again.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks to Travel Wizards, and thanks to all the folks who listened today. I really appreciate having you take your time out of your busy schedule. So my really extreme pleasure. And Jim, thanks, and look forward to talking to you guys soon.
Okay, thank you. And everybody, we'll see you when we return. Thank you and good night.